Okay, today this coming Sunday at A Place to Talk, we're going to be asking the question, did Jesus really teach self-harm? When it comes to lust and sorry about that. When it comes to lust, masturbation, and self-harm in Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 through 30, was that what Jesus was teaching? Was he literally teaching self-harm, plucking out eyes, cutting off hands? Is that what he was saying? Matthew 5:27 says, you've heard it said, you shall not commit adultery, but I say to you, anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. It's interesting that it's looking at a woman. It's never looking at a man. Or not that it's never, but in this text, it doesn't say looking at a man. Anyway, it goes on to say, if your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out, throw it away. It's better for you to lose one part of your body than your whole body to be thrown into hell. If your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off, throw it away. It's better for you to lose one part of your body from the whole body to go to hell. Lust being the way this was communicated to me as a teenager growing up was the lust was the eyes and the hand was about masturbation. What do you think about gouging out your eye or cutting off your hand? This coming Sunday at A Place to Talk, like every week, what we'll do is there won't be a person standing up in a pulpit preaching to a lot of other people. We just don't think that's the best way to hear from God. It's not, the man of God speaking to the people of God on the, being the voice of God. That just doesn't align to us. Too many possibilities of error, too many chances of some man being, having his own self-interest intact. Too often those men are paid positions, and so they say what they need to say. So we do two things. We avoid pay. We don't, there's no person that'll be paid to be at A Place to Talk this coming Sunday. There's no person that'll be paid to prepare a conversation. There's no person that'll be paid to do basically anything at A Place to Talk on Sunday. We might pay for somebody to cut the grass from time to time or clean up a little bit, but never do we pay for people to speak to us on the behalf of God. Instead, every week we come together and we pray and say, God, speak to us, through everybody in the room. Let us hear from you. And so the questions, what happens is we ask some questions and we discuss them. So what do you think about gouging out your eye or cutting off your hand? You want to be a part of that conversation? Come join us this coming Sunday at A Place to Talk. We'll have other parts. Has this passage ever been used in a way that caused physical harm? Do you know anyone who has physically harmed themselves over passages like this one? Early church, first through the 4th century, they took this radically seriously, but not literal mutilation. The early church, nearly 100% rejected literal self-harm. The eye and the hand were speaking of thought and action, not lust and masturbation, as I was taught. Okay, it was talking about thought. The eyes were the window to our thoughts, and our hands were the means of our action. So the core emphasis was about, controlling our desire, our heart, and moderating our action. The early church, Augustine, Origen, and Chrysostom, whatever. Here's what some of the things that they said. Christ is not commanding bodily injury, but mortification of desire. Origen said he does not command us to mutilate the body, but to cut off those things that seem to us as dear as our eyes if they lead us into sin. And he who looks, he said not he who looks, but he who looks in order to lust. For it's possible to see and not lust. You know what? That's a valuable point. There's a lot in religious circles today that are blaming the way people dress, but it's possible to look and not lust. Well, maybe that's a good question to discuss. Is it possible to look and not lust? Is it hard for you to be exposed and not allow that to become a problem with your thoughts? Origen's alleged self-castration is often exaggerated, and it's not believed to be orthodox. In other words, it's not believed to be real. The idea is it didn't happen. What's the difference between attraction and lust? Is one okay and the other wrong? Are these avoidable feelings, or are they impossible to avoid. In the medieval period, this text shaped practices of fasting, celibacy, confession, and accountability. We'll continue through that text and talk about it this coming Sunday at A Place to Talk. We'll look at how this breaks down into different times. The question for today and A Place to Talk today is, how do we honor the message without filling people with, oops, I spelled filling wrong there. It meant to say without filling, without pouring them full, F-I-L-L-I-N-G, without filling people with guilt and building long-term sexual repression and pain. I think that filling people with long-term sexual repression and pain is the culture I grew up in religiously. What does it mean to objectify someone spiritually? Is this possible? How can this happen? I think that's an interesting question that we will definitely talk about this coming Sunday. The concept, you know what? This slide kind of answers the question. You can pause it and look at it, but I don't want to read it right. But anyway, these are the things that we'll discuss this coming Sunday at A Place to Talk, and I'd love to have you join us. You have questions, you're curious, you're not sure if this community will work for you, call me. We can have a chat. And it doesn't work for everybody. This is not a highly religious community. It's a community that you'll definitely hear things that you wouldn't hear in typical church. I'm sure a conversation like this that's about sex and masturbation and stuff like that, there's going to come up. There's probably going to be some things that will be said that may not fit in your culture. So call me if you have any questions, and we'll talk about how it fits for you and if it fits for you. But if you're just curious and you want to come and find out, we'd love to have you.